Next guest says the debt negotiation meetings are, his word, sketchy. He says that instead of scaring the public about economic Armageddon, these meetings should be made public, and the Obama administration should be forced to show a contingency plan if the so-called debt ceiling is not raised by August 2nd. Joining us now is Tom Fitton. He's president of Judicial Watch. And, Tom, it's great to have you with us.
Good to be with you again, Louis.
First, your reaction let's to the breakdown in these negotiations today.
Well, I mean, the American people ought to be disgusted. Senator Johnson from Wisconsin called this whole secret process disgusting. These are now 2 or 3 men meeting in secret to decide how $50 trillion in federal spending is going to be spent over the next 10 years. You know, we have a constitutional process for deciding those questions, and it's not being followed. These leaders shouldn't show up at the White House unless they have C-SPAN cameras with them tomorrow.
Did you say Fox Business Network cameras?
Or, you know, neutral cameras like Fox and MSNBC and CNN and C-SPAN.
Well, don't overdo it, Tom. You can overdo a good thing. Let me ask you this. You have been seeking as much information as possible about what is behind all of this rhetoric. I call the rhetoric of fear emanating from this administration. What have you found?
Well, we haven't found anything to back it up. We asked, there's an agency at the Treasury Department called the Bureau of Public Debt, and it's located in West Virginia, no doubt thanks to Senator Byrd, the late Senator Byrd.
Right there with the lockbox, right?
You know, we asked for what's going to happen if the debt ceiling isn't raised, and they gave us back the letter that John Boehner got back in January, a copy of a public bill, and they said the rest of it you're not going to get because it's all interagency communications. And we've seen this play before with the financial crisis. We were told there was going to be a financial contagion and the world would end. And we asked for the backup for that. And we've never seen the backup for that. It was all rhetoric and there was nothing substantive behind it. And the president, again, is talking about not sending out 70 million checks. What is the basis for that? They refuse to share it. You can't trust it until you get the detail.
Yeah, and if I may offer a few thoughts on what it is back there behind all of this. One is it is a simple matter of choice and administration decision as to whether or not $20 billion or so in Social Security checks are mailed out on August 3rd. The president says the coffers don't have that money. That's simply untrue. There's a $2.6 trillion Social Security trust fund. It has instruments that can be redeemed, and in so redeeming maintain, at worst, a zero level on the debt ceiling and have no effect at all. The president surely understands this. His Treasury Secretary absolutely does understand this, and hence I would be fascinated to find whatever you learn, whatever you discover in your efforts, Tom, because the facts are compelling, they're absolute, and there is no mistake about them. August 2nd is a fiction when it comes to default. The only person who can default this government in debt instruments is the President of the United States ordering his Treasury Secretary to do so. And if there's any ambiguity about this, I'll be glad to make it clear to anyone. I'm saying it in front of God and everybody, and I don't understand why economists from around this country, why every person, Democrat, Republican, Independent, isn't standing up in this national media and saying, this is bull, and let's talk about the real issues.
Well, and there needs to be an investigation of this. They could spend why not do a hearing or two next week, bringing Geithner up, talking about what analysis has been done at the Treasury Department about what to do with the money.
If you're giving me subpoena power, we'll go get them.
Well, you know, we're willing to sue for it, but it may be too late before we get the information. They may get what they want based on the smoke and mirrors.